Andy Brown fell through the ropes with the captain, pro welterweight, Finley James. How are you doing, Finley? It's been a couple of years since I last spoke to you.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while now, Andy. I know you caught me when I was an amateur, and now I'm on the next step of the journey, and you've caught me again. Yeah, it's nice to keep bumping heads.
Yeah, definitely. And the next step's about to come up. You've just got your second pro fight announced, haven't you?
Yeah, 30th of March, I'm back at the York Hall Bethnal Green for my second fight. I had my last one in November, so we had Christmas, had the New Year, and I'm lucky to be out so early in the year. So yeah, it's good.
I watched that first fight, and I've never seen anybody enjoy the pro debut. You seem so relaxed. What did you think about that fight, and what was it like?
I just thought I've got to go out there and put a bit of a show on. Like I didn't want to force nothing too much, so I wanted to go out there and enjoy myself. And all I'd been told all week was you only get one debut. You only got one debut. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. So I thought, okay, I want to go out there and I really will. I'll put my own personality in the mix of what I do with boxing and make it something that it's not. You're not what I do in the night. You're not going to see that on the fight before or the fight after. So it's probably quite refreshing for some people, especially with the smaller hall. Their shows are quite active and there's a lot of it. So you don't want to become too same. So it's nice to be sprinkled in there every now and then.
And there's a lot of atmosphere in the York Hall, isn't there? And it sounded like you had a lot of fans there, which are vital, aren't they, for this stage of your career?
It was great. I think I sold nearly like 200 tickets for that debut. So I don't know why for considering you don't actually know how well you're going to do. Do you know what I mean? You tell everyone, yeah, I'll sell a ticket, but until you have to give it a go for the first time, you don't know who's going to buy one and who's not. So I was blessed that a lot of people did buy tickets and was very interested in my fight. And even for I was meant to be fighting on the 3rd of February, but it got pulled the week before. And I'd even sold about similar numbers for that one. So it was nice to see I was retaining an audience rather than just having one for the debut and then half of them don't come back for the second one. So that was quite nice.
And what was your walk-on music, Finley? I presume maybe West Ham, was it Blowing Bubbles or?
Oh, no, no. Do you know what? When I boxed on a dinner show when I was probably about 12 years old, 13 years old. And it was a fancy dinner show. And they said, oh, you can have ring music. And I come out to Bubbles then when I was younger. And that's probably the first ring walk I actually ever had, to be fair. That's probably the first ring walk. Everyone was singing it and chanting it. So it was love. That was brilliant. But for my debut, I come out to a Pot of Paper, so a new rapper from East London. So all my pals that are my age and around similar, they all loved it, and it got everyone right going for the fight.
Like I say, it was a fantastic performance. You literally wasted no punches whatsoever. What was the difference, Finley, in the pro ring, and how much did that amateur experience mean to you?
Do you know what? I had never boxed without a head guard as an amateur. I'd never boxed as a senior. So already just taking a head guard off is a massive jump anyway to as being a professional. But I'd never experienced that as a senior. So I was experienced just new stuff in general. But nice small gloves. It's nice. It feels more dangerous with the smaller gloves, but you also feel more comfortable, I feel like I can be a bit quicker, a little bit snappier. I feel like everything's a little bit more relaxed with the smaller gloves. So that's quite nice. And for me, vest on, vest off business don't seem to affect me too much. I'll crack on and I'll have a fight with whatever I've got to deal with. But definitely the no head guard felt great. And it was definitely for me, it kept me more aware and more focused throughout because you don't obviously feel as comfortable because you've not got a big protection around your head. So you got to be very careful with what you're doing at the whole time. You can't be wasting nothing. Like you said, I can't waste no shots. If I hang a bat in there, he's going to clump me with one. And if he's got them little gloves on the night, got a head guard, and it's not going to be a good recipe, is it?
And was Mark Tibbs, he's your coach, was he happy with the performance?
Yeah. I think Mark was more than happy with the performance. I think because he was one that was telling me to stay relaxed and be confident and express myself in my boxing. And I thought that's what I was doing. Look, there's things that I should have done better. I probably should have stayed a little bit closer for a little bit longer for the third shot or something just to finish off on to maybe force a little something more out of him or get a little bit closer to a stoppage or a count. Just look that little 5%, 10% better. But I think for a debut, yeah, I think he was more than happy with what I'd performed at.
And what you must get asked this all the time, Finley. What's that dynamic like in the gym with Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs? What are they like as coaches and characters?
Oh, they're great. They're great men, and you can only do nothing but respect them. And you got to listen to every word they say, because even if they're not talking to, even if Jimmy's speaking to someone else, I'll still listen, because it may not be something that benefits my style, but it's always like I'd rather learn than not. So I'd always be quiet and listen to any of them, even with Mark. And they've got so much vast experience in the game, and they do really know what they're talking about. And it's a nice, just big stable you've got over there. So it's nice not to just be by yourself. You've got a team of people also going through it, and the ups and the downs of it, and you're all there together.
And coming from that stable, I presume you're a fully paid up member of the Bosch Army.
Yeah, no, we ride strong with Johnny. He's out there smashing it at the minute. He just had his fight out in Vegas, and yeah, he's flying. He's flying.
I love watching his journey. I mean, how far do you think he could go? Because it just seems like everybody enjoys every fight.
Look, at the minute, his potential's limitless, because I think only he's going to be the one that caps his own potential. He's a serious learner. He's a coach's dream. I would say that about Johnny. He's a coach's dream. He's an athlete as well, which always helped. You look at some of these heavyweights and some of the main athletes, they haven't got an athletic, powerful build. Johnny, if he was playing, like I say, playing rugby, he would have been at elite level. If he played football, he would have been a good player. Whatever sport you would have chucked him into, he would have picked it up quickly. He's a natural athlete. He's a big lad, and he's confident enough to chuck himself about. So it's always going to be a mixture for limitless potential.
And away from boxing, I know your other love is West Ham United. So, question: Moyes in or Moyes out?
I'm going to go Moyes in. I'm going to keep with Moyes. I'm going to stick by him. I think as West Ham fans, we love to get carried away. We love to think that we're up there with the big boys. But look, we just come off with a European title last year. It was what it was. Look, some people might call it the third place, but a third place is better than no place. So I'll take that. And yeah, I think Moyes in. Look, let's give him a seat. Let's give him to the end of the season and then reevaluate. I think this whole business of sacking a manager during a season, it's going to do no good for his confidence, and it's going to do no good for the team's confidence. So you're only going to make the situation worse. You might as well back the fella to the end of the season, and then in the break, then that's when you deal with your business. Do you know what I mean? Then you can get stuff over the line.
I used to work in Greenwich, and I went to West Ham in the 1990s, and it was great atmosphere at the old ground. Did you ever go to that?
No, Up Top was brilliant. My old man took me there from very young. I've been there a load of times. I was there at the last game at Upton Park. We went to the last game, and it was great. The new stadium's wicked. It's brand new. Everything's great, but it just hasn't got that same rough and ready feel that the Upton Park had. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to have new stuff, but it's better to have the stuff with memories.
Yeah. And you know how a lot of fighters like to box at the football grounds. Is that one you'd like to? Is that your dream stadium, or have you got another one in mind?
No, the West Ham Stadium would be amazing, because there's been nothing done there yet, boxing wise. To be fair, so I'd love to be one of the first people that get to use the stadium, even if I was on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and no one got to see it. It'd still be a wicked experience, because I'm a big West Ham fan. So to get on the pitch where the players play, and I watch them play every week, and I get to do my thing, it'd be wicked.
And back to boxing, your division, the welterweight division, is there anyone catching your eye in the British rankings? What do you think about the Haney Garcia fight? Who have you got for that one?
Haney Garcia. I'm gonna go Haney. I like Garcia. I like what he does, but at the minute, Haney is flying. He's beating up through people. That he's making it look like easy work behind a good jab. He ain't doing nothing too hard. He don't even look like he's coming out of third gear in most of these fights. Look, the Lemachenko was close. Lemachenko had it, but I'm a big Lemachenko fan, so biasness is biasness, and there's 5 judges around that ring or whatever, so you let them decide, and it is what it is. But yeah, I like Haney for that. I like Haney. British wise welterweights, there's it's a busy old scene, to be fair, and look, there's not much coming through that I would say at a young age, like I'm 20, so I've got years and years of developing. I think most of the boys my age are all at the same stage. We're all trying to develop and we're all trying to go on our paths, work for our prospects, and then try and build each other into these 50-50s. I just hope that the rest of the boys and myself, when the time is right, they step into these fights and they do start to get involved and don't try and maybe to not take easy routes. That may be the wrong word, but take the routes that are less exciting for the people that pay their hard-earned money to come and watch us.
I watched Conor Walker. You know, he's Birmingham lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
He actually lost on the fight I watched, but he's rose up the rankings pretty quick since.
He got through quick. Then he had that good win, didn't he? Did he box Cyrus Patterson had to win over?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Kane Gardner, he was in a cracking fight with Kane Gardner in Baltimore. So I can see them two fighting again. But yeah, he's exciting to watch. But it just shows that you can, you know, there's no harm losing, and you get straight.
No, not at all. That's what I mean. Like the opportunities will always come back around if you're a real fighting man and you're not afraid to get back in there. The opportunities will always roll. You've just got to start to hope that the promoters still start to back the fellas that are game to fight and not just waste their time on people that are building silly records for no reason, and they actually want fellas that are game to have a go.
Well, that could be the thing with you, couldn't it? Because you've got such a big amateur. Did you have 60 fights as an amateur? They could
Yeah, 50, 60 fights, yeah.
Because you looked many levels above the lad you was in with. No disrespect.
Oh yeah. Look, the journeymen, they get in there, they do their job, and they make it the night of work that we need. And we have to use these fights to learn our trade, so that when we do come into them 50-50 fights, or you're 40-60 down in maybe some of them, and you got to go and chase one a little bit, you'll learn about yourself in them fights. But technically, you'll build yourself against these journeymen, and they'll put you through the right tests. And I've got a good management team behind me in Strike Sport, and so Mark, my trainer, they look after me and they shape me in the right direction. I hope to go on to do some big things.
What are your short-term goals? I know your long-term goals will be world titles and things like that, but what are the short-term, next 12, 18 months?
The next 12, 18 months, I just want to just be active every 3-4 months at least, just to get out and keep it nice and smooth. I don't want to be having long breaks off and putting weight on, putting weight off, putting weight on, putting weight off. I want to keep it nice and active even through to the, like you say, to 18 months. And then when I'm up at 7, 8 fights, then start looking and going, what do we want now? And look at the opportunities. There might be belts vacant. There may be champions that ain't as good in other places, and you can slip and slide. I might be heavier then. Do you know what I mean? That's where the thing, we're 20 years old. 18 months time, I could be 70 plus kilo walking about going, I don't know if I can do welterweight anymore. So you just got to see where the time goes and how I grow.
You are big for the weight, aren't you? I mean, you're coach's nightmare to fight against, because you're slick, tall southpaw.
Yeah, no, it's a nightmare, really. But I'll tell you what, they always find a game plan though. They always find something. They always got something on me, and I don't do everything perfect. But yeah, I'm a bit of an awkward fella. If you watch a bit of tape on me, you probably are watching it back. I don't know what he's doing. I can disappear in a boxing ring, so I can always make it a tough time for someone. And I'm a smart fella myself, so I adapt quickly to what's in front of me, and I understand where I've got to be and what I've got to do.
That performance in your debut, I thought was brilliant, because you kept that distance, and I don't think you took a shot in the fight, or hardly a shot.
Yeah, look, hardly.
That's a risk against journeymen, isn't it? That you just switch off. You're unloading.
Exactly that. So I just didn't want to be hanging about in there when I'm letting my stuff go. But maybe a little bit more confidence and a little bit more control over the fella. I could stay in there for 1 or 2 more and be a little bit closer in range, just so I can get a bit more damage off. That's what I would have just liked out of that performance. But like you say, to take nothing, this is a long old time. So to be taking damage in your first fight, it don't make no sense to me. If these fights are what they're meant to be, and I'm meant to do what I'm meant to do, I shouldn't be getting hit with anything too heavy at this stage. So just keep myself nice and controlled, nice and switched on in there. Say it's 4 to 6 rounders and then moving into 8. I can stay switched on for that amount of time. Like we're not into these 10 round, 12 round dog fights. So I need to keep myself nice and classy and controlled.
It's been great watching your journey. I always keep an eye on you on Instagram at what you've been up to. You've been putting a lot of time in the gym, haven't you? But
Oh, mate.
I know Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs would have been big influences. Who is the person who's, or the club, or who's been a big influence to get you to where you are now, Finley?
Look, there's so many people that help me and impact my life, and I'm a bit of a person that I like to do things by myself, and I like to work at that journey. But to have all them boys in the gym, I've been watching blueprints of these fighters and these prospects for years now. Like I say, Tommy Fletcher, John Hedges, Johnny Fisher. I've sat back and I've watched the first part of their career that's just in front of me unfold. So I've been blessed to watch these blueprints. Mine ain't gonna look anything like theirs, and theirs don't look like anything like each other. But to just see and understand what they go through, it gives me such an easier run at it. And it's not like I'm doing it for the first time, but it don't feel like it because I've watched these people's career unfold. And like you say, with Jimmy and Mark, they've got so much experience. Like, if you got a question, just ask, and you'll get an answer that you should be able to listen to, and you can take it on board, and it isn't going to be anything you don't care about.
Well, that's fantastic, and I wish you all the best. You know, 30th of March, isn't it, at the York Hall?
30th of March, yeah, that's it. 30th of March down the York Hall. So yeah, it's gonna be a great night.
Good luck. All the best, Finley.
Thank you, Andy. That was lovely to see you, mate.